the more you give to charity, the richer you get. And what you find, you find that in subsequent years, when you give $1 to charity, on average, there's about $1.60 that comes back to you in subsequent years. Now, I was thinking when I first saw this, it's got to be the hand of God. Nah, it doesn't make sense. I didn't believe it, actually. I thought there was something wrong with my data. And then I was working with this psychologist. I'm an economist. I was working with a psychologist. He says, no, we've been seeing this for years and years. People who give more money away, they get richer. And they make way more money back than that which they give away.
For thousands of years, across cultures, religions, and civilizations, one practice has remained mysteriously consistent. A seemingly simple act, yet one that sages, mystics, and even modern science claims has the power to unlock untold abundance. So what's the secret? Giving away a portion of your wealth. But why? Why would the path to gaining more require first giving something away? Could it be that the ancient wisdom and cutting-edge quantum science are pointing to the same hidden law of the universe? And if so, could this one ancient practice hold the key to not only financial success, but something far greater? Keep listening. But before we continue, please make sure to subscribe and like if you're watching this on YouTube, or follow us and give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, because I honestly can't continue to make these videos without your encouragement. So thank you so much for the support. The concept of tithing, or giving 10% of one's income, first appears in the Old Testament. Abraham, the father of 3 major religions, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, gave 1/10 of his spoils to a mysterious high priest. But why? Later, Jacob, upon witnessing a divine vision, makes a vow. Of all that you give me, I will give 1/10 back to you. Was this a simple gesture of gratitude, or did these ancient figures understand something far more profound? Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse and see if I will not open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. A promise that giving could unlock unlimited abundance. But is this merely spiritual metaphor? Or could this be describing a real fundamental law of reality? There's an old Indian parable about a beggar who sat on the roadside watching as the great king's chariot approached. The beggar's heart pounded. Surely the king in all his wealth and grandeur would bless him with a handful of gold or a pouch of silver. But instead, the king looked down and asked, "What will you give me?" The beggar hesitated. Give? He had nothing, just a small bowl of rice. He scoffed, reached in and gave the king a single grain. The king smiled, took it, and left. Later, the beggar was pouring out his rice bowl, only to find that the one single grain had been replaced by a solid gold coin. His heart sank. Had he given more, how much gold would he have found? A lesson whispered through time. The universe, like the king, mirrors what we give. And sometimes the return is beyond our wildest imagination. In Islam, giving is not just a recommendation, it is a divine obligation. The Quran commands Muslims to give Zakat, 2.5% of their accumulated wealth, to those in need. It is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, an unshakable foundation of faith. O you who have believed, spend from the good things which you have earned, and do not aim at the defective therefrom, spending from it. Throughout history, Islamic civilizations flourished when zakat was widely practiced. During the reign of Caliph Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, so much wealth had been distributed that officials struggled to find anyone in need of charity. Seriously, imagine a society where poverty literally doesn't exist because people are so generous. What would that even look like today? If this episode is resonating with you and you're starting to see how ancient wisdom still holds the key to abundance today, subscribe and drop a comment letting me know your thoughts. Have you ever tested this principle in your own life? Let's explore it together. Drop a comment and let us all know. Quantum mechanics has revealed that everything in the universe is connected. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where two particles, once connected, remained linked no matter how far apart, suggests that our actions, our energy, and yes, even our giving, ripples outward in ways beyond our comprehension. Quantum entanglement shows us that two particles, once connected, remain linked no matter how far apart they are. When one changes, the other mirrors the shift instantly, even across galaxies. What if our generous actions ripple outward in the same way? What if our kindness, no matter how small, influences a web of interconnected events, bringing blessings back to us when we least expect it? What do they say? The day you plant the tree is not the day you eat the fruit. Then there's the placebo effect, which shows us that belief alone can change physical reality. Patients given fake medicine often heal simply because they expect to. So what happens when we believe in generosity? What if the very act of expecting abundance through giving creates neural pathways, rewiring our brains to attract it? Okay, this is nuts, but it's true. In physics, there's something called resonance principle, which basically means that things vibrating at the same frequency attract each other. Like if you hit a tuning fork, another one with the same pitch will start vibrating even if it's across the room. Now think about this. If money is a form of energy, and it is, then what if generosity works the same? What if giving actually tunes you to the frequency of abundance so that more wealth, more opportunities, and more good things start showing up in your life? Because if physics says that energy attracts energy, then isn't it possible that giving freely actually pulls wealth back to you? Speaking of quantum science, let's take a moment to talk about something that has personally changed the game for me. It's called quantum upgrade. Now, if you've been listening for a while, you know I don't just talk about things, I experiment with them. I push boundaries, and let me tell you, quantum upgrade is next level. It's a cutting-edge technology that taps into the power of quantum energy to elevate your mental clarity, vitality, and even the energetic frequency of the spaces around you. And here's the wild part. It's not just some abstract concept. I literally have quantum upgraded activated on me right now. I've noticed the difference in my focus, my sleep, and even the way I show up every day. And if you're someone who is always looking to optimize your health, your performance, your environment, this is something you need to check out. And you don't have to take my word for it. Quantum Energy is giving, quite frankly, listeners, a free 14-day trial so that you can experience it for yourself. So just go to quantumupgrade.io and use the code FRANKLY to activate your free trial. If you're watching a video about spirituality and tithing, then you know everything is energy. And if you're ready to level up your frequency, Quantum Upgrade is the way to do it. Cabala, the mystical branch of Judaism, teaches that the universe operates through a divine flow known as Shefa, a stream of abundance that circulates through the act of giving. To hoard wealth is to block the flow. To give is to open the gates. Kabbalist teachers teach that giving charity not only blesses the receiver, but purifies the giver's soul. The more one gives, the more the divine flow increases. One man who follows Kabbalistic principles committed to giving 10% of everything he earned, but he explained that in the times that he just didn't give, maybe he didn't feel like he had enough to give, he noticed something strange. He lost money anyway. a car accident, a sudden hospital bill, a broken roof. It was as if the money had to leave his hands one way or another. And Cabala takes this even further. It says that even the poorest person must give. If a homeless man makes $10 in one day from the kindness of strangers, he should take $2 of that and give it to another homeless person. Why? Because no matter how little you have, the act of giving affirms abundance, and then abundance follows. In an old European folktale, a cobbler lived in poverty, barely earning enough to buy bread. Yet every week, without fail, he would set aside a single coin to give to the church for the poor. One evening, as he trudged home through the cold, a stranger appeared, an old man with tattered clothes, shivering in the winter air. The cobbler hesitated, but he took off his own coat and wrapped it around the man. At dawn, he awoke to a knock on the door. There stood a nobleman, holding a heavy purse of gold. "You fixed my father's shoes many years ago. He told me of your kindness. Now I repay that debt." He never knew if the nobleman's father had really sent him or if it had been by the hand of God, but he knew one thing for sure. What he had given had come back to him, multiplied beyond measure. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna teaches that there are three kinds of giving. The highest form, giving without attachment, without expectation. The gift, which is given with a sense of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person without expectation of anything in return, is considered to be in the mode of goodness. This is known as sattvic giving, the kind that aligns us with the divine. Krishna warns that giving with self-interest, and look, we're all guilty of having done that, expecting praise or reward, that's called the rajastic. And then the worst, giving with regret, one gives out of guilt or because they want to control others, that's called tamasic giving. It's basically like poison. True giving is free from ego. It's not about recognition. It's not even about control. And here's the paradox. When you give without attachment, Krishna says, you receive more than you ever imagined. Because in detachment, wealth is no longer something to chase, it's something that naturally comes. Buddhism teaches that generosity, or dana, is the first step on the path to enlightenment. Why? It frees us from clinging, from selfishness, and from fear. If beings knew the result of giving and sharing, they would not eat without having given. Dana is not about the amount given, it's about the purity of intention behind the giving. Buddha taught that the greatest gift is given with a joyful heart, without regret, without expectation. This is why in Buddhist teachings, even the gods revere generosity. The Jataka tale tells of a prince who gave away everything, his kingdom, his wealth, his very body. And when he was asked why, he simply replied, "Because all that I have was never truly mine." Because in giving, we release our grip to illusion, and in return, we receive far more than we could ever let go of. Why does this principle appear across every civilization's teaching? Is it a coincidence or an ultimate truth? Perhaps it's a universal law that to receive, one must first give. So the question isn't if this works. The question is, are you actually doing it? Are you giving constantly, generously, and with zero expectations? Because maybe, just maybe, the thing that you've been waiting for, the breakthrough, the success, the abundance, it's been waiting on you. If you're ready to dive even deeper into the unseen laws of abundance, proven techniques, and some hidden truths, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because when you give, and yes, even knowledge, you increase the flow of what comes back to you.